Aloha y'all, your boy Jay coming back at you deep in the Hawaiian jungle with the banning of the dread. We're talking off-grid lifestyle tonight, so I think we got a pretty stream going. Not too much rain. So yeah, just talking about the different aspects of the off-grid lifestyle, some of the things that people might want to think about before they not only come out here off-grid, but pretty much anywhere. Like I've always said, the number one mistake that I see being made, ourselves included, was most people try to start off too big. If you try to start off too big without having the proper funds, you might as well stay on grid, because all you're going to do is make your life harder than it was before you came off grid. So that's one of the things to think about. You want to keep it small, keep it manageable. Keep it small, keep it manageable. Keep it cracking. So I think today my short was on solar. Yeah. I can't believe the fact that I'll be reading articles or seeing video clips about people actually spending 20, 50, 60 grand on a solar system. And then they actually got to get, when the real estate agent finds out they have solar, they say it's a huge red flag when they want to sell their property when they got a system that big. Because the new tenants, aloha. Who's that? The mighty, I see you. What's good with you? Aloha. Just talking off-grid lifestyle. Yeah, the real estate agent knows that in order for you to, when they see a house with all them solar panels on it, 20, 50, $60,000 worth of solar panels that's being leased or financed, you also gotta, what's good with you? What is it? I see. Okay, it's coming too fast now. Let's see. Sammy, I see you. And what's the other one? Oh, we got here. Polish. I like the way you spell. I like the new way you spell polish. But yeah, though, yeah, you got to get financed for not only the mortgage, but you also got to get financed for taking over the solar payments. Man, don't fall for that. Do not fall for that. If you come out here to the off-grid, like I said in my short today, the first thing you got to do is change your mentality about consumption. You got to be willing to cut a lot of different things, or you're really gonna start paying more than you did when you were on grid. Because if you finance with solar panels and all that good stuff, I mean, what I got here? You got the church, yeah. We got the church. We got church. I see it. What is it? Auto race. Lovely auto race. Yep, for sure. You want to start off small. I mean, you want a small structure. You want a small solar setup on that structure. And I can't stress enough about the distributed method. I was shocked about the little solar panels. Those little bricks I'm showing you in my short today. Them things only like $50 from Goal Zero. And the trip part about it, they didn't go up with the tariffs. What's up, Mike? What's cracking with you? What's up, homie? Yeah, they didn't go up with the tariffs. Those little Goal Zero solar bricks have been $50 ever since I started looking for them. Roughly 5.5 years ago. So I would not, like right now, after I get off this podcast, I'll go lay down and my battery will be lower. But I'm not going to hook it up to a whole big old solar system on this structure and all that. No, I just got the little solar brick And if you got a phone with a decent battery, and that solar setup, that little solar brick, that should take you all the way through the night. So, and we got about 4 of them now. And sometimes I will admit, they can break on you, those small ones, if you let the wrong person mess with them. You know, we had it for our Airbnb, and it was never the same after that. But you can still charge it manually through the sun. You know, we were used to charging it faster through the solar system, but it still works. You know, with the sun. So, yep, that's like the #1 mistake I made. Most people that move off grid for the first time, they come out here trying to duplicate the lifestyle that they left. I know I see many people do that. I know we tried to do that. And like I said, don't do that. The first thing I do is change your mentality. All right, I can live without this. I can live without this much space. I don't need to have, you know, this 50-inch TV on every night when I come home from work or whatever you're doing. No, if you're trying to live like that, then you're going to be, if you got the money, great. You got the money to finance $20, $50, $70 worth of solar panels, great. But like I said to start the show, if you financing that and you try to sell your home, the new buyer also has got to get approved, not only for your mortgage, but for the takeover of those solar panel leases. I was shocked to find out people are actually leasing solar panels separate from their mortgage. I was like, you defeating the whole purpose. So out here in the off-grid, it's all about trying to cut them bills, because if you do it right, you will see your savings drastically rise very quickly. But it ain't gonna be easy, especially if you don't come from this lifestyle. No, it ain't gonna be easy. So, first off, it's the size of your structure. I can't tell you how many people I've seen come out here, they're gonna build their own house, never built a house before, and first thing they try to do is duplicate that 1,200, 1,500 square foot house they just left. And they're working on it forever. They get discouraged. I can't tell you. You talk to my neighbors, you talk to me, I can't tell you how many people that came out here. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. I can't tell you how many people that came out here, and we call them 6-monthers. Say, oh yeah, he looks like a 6-monther. Because after about that 6 month, they realize, oh, this is why people go to work every day and live in the city and live in the suburbs. Yeah, it ain't gonna be easy. Not in the beginning. And I don't care how much money you come out here with. If you come out here to save money, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a different lifestyle. So, another big one. Do not rely on a generator as your primary source of income. I cannot stress that to you enough. A backup generator is just that, a backup generator. We went through at least 3 generators, and this is just charging our cell phones and our laptops in the beginning. But you got to charge your phone every day, sometimes several times a day. A generator is not to be ran like that. All you're going to do is blow that generator and basically waste a bunch of money with oil and gas. So I would get a generator, but keep in mind, it's only for your bigger power tools, and if something happens to your solar and your solar bricks, that's the last resort. Because power the generator, it breaks, you're going to realize that there's nobody around town that can properly fix them because they're too temperamental. And the main thing is, you're going to get sick of filling that thing up with gas and oil. you're gonna be like, man, it's like I just bought another car. So by all means, avoid the generator other than for your power tools and for backup. So, but yeah, though, let me see what's happening here. Also checking out the news while I'm talking to y'all, yup. But what else? You got the solar. Oh, learn how to treat that water. Learn how to treat your water. We using two good methods. That once again, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody to go out and do this or whatever, but this is just my opinion. So we catching our water in several containers. Then we'll move it over to what we call the drop container. That's letting all the little particles drop to the bottom of whatever small container you got your water in. Then from there, let me back up a little bit. On the initial catch, we're using a nice pot. Just a nice, if you will, a nice cooking pot. And we're just setting that out in an open area. So the water that's falling from the sky is not, coming off of trees and things of that nature. Not coming off the roof for our drinking water, just coming straight out of the sky. And before that gets to the container, the pot container, it's being filtered through this little bit of mesh we got. So we're starting off with the mesh. Because drinking water, as you know, is 99.9% all about filtration and then trying to, boil away any little remaining bacteria. So it's caught through on the pot through the little mesh, and from the mesh we're taking it into, just depending on how clean it is, 2 to 3 containers. And these containers, more or less, just bottles like this. But on top of the bottle, at the spout, we'll put 1, maybe 2, just little cheap coffee filters. So we got like 2 or 3 setups of this, from the first pot to our first container to our second container and to our third if needed. And then from there, it's clean to the eye, to the naked eye. And then we give it a boil, and then that brings it all the way home, clean it up to drink. And to actually make it even more potable, we sometimes boil our guava leaves or banana leaves and turn it into a tea. So that actually gets rid of more micro metals in the drinking water. So it's a little bit of a process, but you're drinking the purest of the pure. So that's the way we're doing it with the water. And I would strongly advise you, especially if you move, off grid here on the east side of Hawaii, where they don't even there's not even an option to get water. Even if you have the money, there's not an option. You got to go into one of the areas where they got the little water spigots. So, but yeah, let's say you got your solar, you got your water. Now, I would definitely advise moving to an area where, if you can get to a wooded area where you got a lot of trees, that's going to eliminate your gas bill right there. You don't have to excuse me, you don't have to dry the wood bone dry to use it for cooking if you got a little bit of lighter fluid. So a little bit of lighter fluid will add a little bit of a bill to your budget, but it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than buying propane. So try to get your wood as dry as possible. You definitely want to have a wood shed, but you don't have to wait. I think, what is it, a year, 18 months before green wood is technically dry enough to just spark up on its own. You know, we've used stuff that's only like, I don't know, a month or two old, but you do have to put a little bit of lighter fluid on it. So, but yeah, that's essentially you do that initial upfront cost with your solar. You learn how to catch your water and treat it, and you get your little drying area, your drying tower for your wood. There you go. You eliminated 90% of your utility bills, and you're gonna start saying to yourself, "Damn, I was going to work for all of this. I'm waking up every day at 4, 5 in the morning, running that job, dealing with that boss, another drive home, 45 minutes to an hour home. Well, I could have been doing this on my own." Nah, man. But the number one thing, even before you get to all that, is you got to learn how to build a small structure. See, we pushing not tiny homes, micro tiny homes. And most people hear that word, they cringe. Ah! They're trying to have me living in a coffin. No, not quite. But a step above, because I think the thing that most people don't realize when they buy land, one of the biggest shifts in your lifestyle is you're not gonna be in the house anymore. You're never gonna be in the house. All that TV watching, all that video game playing and sleeping, them days is over here. Nah, man, you're gonna be working, G. Like I said, especially if you're really out here trying to do this on your own, you're gonna be working. So your structure is really just gonna be for the end of the day when you're dead tired and you just want to crash at night. Yeah, that's why I was one of those people. Like I said in some of my other videos, I was one of them people that had a big 1,700 square foot house and could barely enjoy it on the weekends because I'm at work every day. You know, I'll making sales calls or going to a sales meeting, or when you are at home, you're in this one room doing all kind of paperwork and admin work, and you're on the phone with your boss and whatnot. You ain't walking around the house enjoying it, decorating it, upgrading it, having barbecues. Yeah, I mean, maybe you might have that maybe one Saturday or something a month, but you working. You trying to make sure that house don't get foreclosed on. Yep. So I would strongly advise you, if you're not a builder, if you never built nothing before, just like we had never built anything, start off small now. If you're in a house and you're thinking about moving off grid, go build you a doghouse. That's my number one piece of advice I have for people is, whether you have a dog or not, build a doghouse. If you don't have a dog, then give it to somebody that does have a dog. A house, I equate it to, most people get intimidated when they say, "Oh, build a house." They go, "Oh my God, what you talking about?" Everybody here has, at one time or another, put together an entertainment center. You know, the little entertainment center for your TV and your little shelves and whatnot that you get from IKEA or Target or Walmart. Everybody has built one of them. A house ain't nothing but a big entertainment center. That's all it is. If you just follow your basic common sense. I mean, obviously, if you want the roof to slant, don't make both sides even. You're going to have to make one side higher than the other. I mean, at the end of the day, you'll start to see this is nothing but common sense. So, and you're going to keep hearing me go back to this, and I can't stress this enough. You must start small. I'm talking about teensy weensy small, because you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get discouraged. Because, it's not going to be easy in the beginning. Nothing is easy that you've never tried before. So, I will start off with the with that good dog house, move up to like something like a shed size, and then maybe like a little small cabin. And you're done. You're gonna sit there and go, okay, in a matter of it'll probably take you, I would say it'll probably take you like 90 days. And once you get out there and get going, it would probably take you about 3 months to get you a little structure going, to start catching your own water. You know, you can probably find some down trees on your land. So don't think, oh man, I gotta go to this land, I gotta start chopping down these trees from a firewood. Them trees already gonna be down, G. And you know, start looking online for how to hook up solar. Cause I mean, of course, if you don't know how to hook it up, it's rocket science. But once you know how to hook it up, it ain't no more difficult than hooking up your stereo. But inside of 90 days, if you move Memorial Day, by Labor Day, you will be completely liberated. You're gonna be like, man, I tossed and turned and stressed and put out resumes and did this, that, and the other for all these years. And this is all I pretty much had to do. So it's gonna be life-changing. It's gonna be life-changing. You're gonna be like, I've been dealing with this for the last 19 years, 20 years, living this lifestyle, and all I had to do is come out here. You know, that's what I'm saying. I've been seeing these videos, and people be paying, you know, $2,500, $3,000 a month. And I say, man, in 5-10 months worth of doing that, you could have went and bought you a piece of property. And I'm not even talking about a small piece of property. I'm talking about acres of land. And basically had your own little city. You could have built some little small structures on it. You could have been renting them out. You could have easily been the landlord. But man, people scared. And the reason why people are scared to come out and try this is because you just like, I'm sure, just like I was. You wasn't raised this way. So I tell you to come do this, it's like, man, you might as well be telling me to move to Jupiter. It ain't as hard as you think. It's not as hard as you think, but it ain't gonna be easy either. So I don't know. That's pretty much all I can tell you. It's gonna be different. It's just gonna be different. Not using a flushable toilet. That was like crazy to me the first time I did that. I was like, this is just crazy. Because for how was I? What was I like? I don't know. I was like 40. I don't know, 47, 48 before I bought this land. So for damn near 50 years, every toilet I'd ever used, pretty much my whole life to my that I can remember, man, it flushed. So the first time you do number 2, and it's like, well, what do I do now? It's gonna be different, man. It's gonna be different. So, but it's worth it. And I don't know, you might have heard this in a previous video, but you want your water to be as clean as possible. But other than your drinking water, your dish water, your hand washing water, your shower water, man, that don't have to be crystal clean. After a while, you ain't gonna think twice about using that water. Yeah. So it's not all your water has to be. Not all your water has to be potable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't let that discourage you. You know? Learn how to wash your clothes by hand. You know, you get a lot of people, they come out here and then they got to get a whole nother solar setup because they got to set up a washer and dryer. And this is one of the examples I'm talking about as far as don't try to duplicate your life out here. I mean, because you ain't going to do nothing but get discouraged. You know, if you want suburbia, stay in suburbia. Because you're not going to recreate suburbia in the middle of the jungle and save yourself money every month. I guess that's the best way to put it. You're gonna wind up spending more because suburbia is built for suburbia. Off grid ain't built for suburbia. There's no infrastructure for that. Like I stated, you can get on grid for your power if you wanted to, but ain't no water, ain't no sewer lines out here. Ain't none of that out here. Ain't no natural gas lines out here. So, don't try to duplicate suburbia. If you want suburbia, stay in suburbia. If you want to come out here and save some money, pull back on your consumption, then the off-grid is for you. So, but what's good with y'all? Let's see. No, ours message got retracted. What does that mean when they retract? Does that mean I don't send that? Let me see what else is cracking out here. What else with the off-grid lifestyle? Can I tell you? What else can I tell you? I don't know. The main thing is start today with your with learning how to build something. That Texas flood deal, that's crazy. Crazy. Them people never had time. And see, they can say what they want, but the federal cuts in NOAA, the National Weather Service, that forecast, your flashlights, and speaking of lights, I think I had a comment up. Somebody left the other day about lighting and solar. Those little solar bricks that I showed you in the video, my latest video the latest short, they've got three different sets of lights on. Floodlights, flashlights, emergency lights. So once again, get those little solar bricks from Goal Zero. I'm using one right up here now. That's the light I'm using right here. Or they got the USB, and you can recharge through. Look like I lost y'all there for a second. Hopefully we can stick with it. Thank y'all back. But another thing I forgot to mention earlier on my short when I was showing the solar setup is any of your power tools is operated. Our power drill battery operated. We're about to get a battery operated miter saw. Our skill saw battery operated from Ryobi. So, yep, you definitely want to get everything battery operated, and that works. You can recharge those batteries just fine right on the solar panel. And pretty much anything that you can also use with a USB will work just fine on that inverter. So, that's something that I've been meaning to add to the commentary because I forgot to say that earlier. So let's see what else is cracking. Let's see what else is crackling up in here. It's mainly about the missing campers, man. That's just the coldest right there. That's gotta be tough to get hit like that in the middle of the night and washed away in your tent. I know them kids never knew what hit them. I knew they was badly bad thing. I hope they find people alive. That's why is it so hot? Not sure why it's so hot. Not sure. Elon forming a new political party. You better watch, Elon. Shit, when you got that much money, that much money can make things happen, yo. That's real talk there. The Dalai Lama is 90. Bobby Jenks, two-time All-Star closer and World Series champion with the White Sox, dies at 44. Damn. That is way too young. That is way too young. How a new wave of conservative influencers and magazines is courting young women with lifestyle and celebrity content. All I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh at that. What's good with y'all? What's up, Coco? Yo. So yeah, but it's a good move moving out here to the off-grid if you come out here and you're serious about it. If you dabble, that's what I call people that come out here and they're not really sure. Well, I'm not really. If you come out here and you dabble in off-grid, this lifestyle will chew you up and spit you out. You got to be willing to say, all right, this is how I'm going to live. I'm serious about cutting back my bills. I'm serious about cutting back my consumption. And it's time for me to start saving some money. And, once again, a lot of people out there, they want to get out of their job. So moving out, buying land and moving to the off-grid is a perfect way to figure out a way to start your own business. Because you're gonna have plenty of land and plenty of time to try to figure out, hey, what do I want to do here? So, but once again, you got to be realistic about everything. The first thing you got to do is get a structure built. Because if you don't get a structure built, immediately you are going to start getting discouraged and you're going to start wasting money because you're going to be like, man, you're going to be sleeping in your car probably, or you're going to be like, man, I got to go get a hotel. I can't, it's raining out there. I'm cold, I'm muddy. So if you can get out here or wherever you're going to be and immediately start structure built, that's going to save you so much mental trouble, so much physical trouble, and so much financial trouble. And like I said earlier, I would immediately, almost even before you start building the structure, start catching that water, man. Start catching that water, start figuring out a way to start collecting that wood and drying it. You wanna, because I mean, eventually you gotta think realistic. You're gonna have your camping stove with your propane, and you ain't gonna wanna. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna feel like as close to home as possible, but you gotta wean yourself off that propane. So learn how to chop wood. I didn't know how to do. I don't come from a family of campers. I went camping one time in high school. One time, like on our own with like friends. And nah, bro. Nah, I was like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yo, I didn't even feel comfortable using that little community bathroom and shower. I was like, man, I'll wait till I get home. So if you're not from this lifestyle, like I said, start prepping now. But you gotta come out here and start catching that water, drying that wood, and getting that structure built. immediately. And keep it small. It's human nature. You're gonna be looking at your area. You're gonna be like, okay, well, my house used to be this big, so let me try to figure out. Man, I'm talking about in the beginning, tiny, 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 or you're gonna get discouraged. You're like, oh man, the hell with this. But if you get it in the beginning, you get the little structure built. You spend that first night or two in there, and you go through that first little rainstorm in there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like it's gonna feel like you just hit the lottery. You're gonna be like, damn, I ain't gotta go to the job no more. I ain't gotta listen to people bitch about where you gonna live. Well, I can't help you with rent. I can't help you with no down payment. Why you want to? You grown man. How come you can't go out there? Oh, well, what's your debt to equity ratio? Well, what's your credit? What's your credit score? And what? Yeah, y'all. Sorry if I'm losing you. Yeah, y'all. Sorry if I'm losing you. Sorry if I'm losing you. Like I said, my connection is whack. If you're gonna be a content provider in the off grid, either have you a good cell phone, or you might want to get that Starlink, because the connection out here is horrible. Horrible. But that's how you want to do it. You want to start immediately. You want to start immediately building, catching water, getting your solar hooked up, and get it cracking. So, and that's one thing. Once again, going back to the power generator. It all depends on if you have a car or not. I would try to use my car as much as I could to charge my cell phone. Don't try to use that generator. Try to use that generator as least amount of times as possible, if you can avoid using it very often. So, but yeah, it's very rewarding, but it ain't gonna be easy. Not in the beginning. Let me check out a little bit of island news here. What's cracking on the island news? Hopefully y'all back with me. I'll be on late at night because this is about the only time that I can get a decent connection, especially when it's overcast like this out here. So, like I say, man, I apologize for if the content be coming through herky-jerky, but they won't build a cell tower by us. I don't know. I've heard all types of different explanation. You can't build cell towers in the forest. You can't do this. You can't do that. So that's the coldest. Let's see. Damn. Over here. Boy in critical condition after falling down shaft on East Oahu Trail. Damn. An 8-year-old boy fell roughly 20 feet down a shaft near the top of the Coco Crater Trail. You know what? That's one of the hikes I never did. I don't know why, but I never liked that Coco Crater Trail. And my wife has done it, and I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. I done got them little railroad ties. And they say spaces in between that. I ain't trying to do that, G. Nah. 4 men wounded in a Kalihi shooting. I said they be kicking up dust in Kalihi. Kalihi like South Central. Damn. Woman seriously injured by apparent gunshot in West Oahu. They busting caps in the mix, man. police seek suspects in connection with Kalihi mattress fire. Why is there so much crime in Kalihi? Never understood that. And it's crazy how when you're new to an area, you really don't know where you at. Like, I used to walk through Kalihi and I was like, what? I didn't know where I was. It's like, oh. And then it's funny when people start telling you, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't go there. A little breezy. They got a first weather alert, a little breezy. But other than that, fairly quiet in the islands with the island news. But I don't know if y'all ever got any questions. 2 men arrested after allegedly shooting a gun at the ocean. Why would you be shooting into the ocean? Some of this stuff I never understood, man. So, if y'all ever got any questions about anything about this off-grid lifestyle, man, y'all can always hit me up on the chat, shoot me an email, cause I know I had a whole lot of questions, and if I had known a lot of the stuff, that I'm sharing with y'all, it would have saved me thousands of dollars and probably a couple years of time. Yeah, I mean, our first 2 years over here was pretty much just falling on our face, not knowing what we were doing. I mean, because there is no handbook, if you will, for the off-grid. That don't exist. You got to come out here and live it. And the reason why there is no handbook is because everybody's got a different need. Everybody's got a different desire or a different expectation of what they want out of their off-grid lifestyle. So let me check out what's cracking here in sports. What is today? Is today Saturday? Yeah, today is Saturday. So tomorrow we'll start seeing what the futures is going to do. The futures trading. See what this Dow Jones is going to do tomorrow. But yeah, though, you know, it will liberate you once you get that structure built and you start catching your water, start cutting back on these utility bills. You're gonna be like, man, now this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, but some people, I don't know. I just don't ever see myself, working 40, 60, 80 hours a week to be able to enjoy a nice car and a nice house only on the weekends. Nah, man. Nah, doing it this way. And probably the number one thing that's going to surprise you is you're going to say, especially after you start, getting some of these structures down right and you're getting some of these structures built, you're going to start saying, damn, this building is more sturdy than the house I came from. That's because of you putting your time into it. You putting your maintenance into it. I mean, how many times, for the people out there that own a house or a condo or something, how many times have you went to repair something and you're like, oh man, I ain't about to do that. I don't want to pay for that right now. No, in the off-grid, that's the thing. You're going to be able to have enough money saved and enough skills to where it's like, yeah, let me go ahead and do this. We repair stuff around here just about every week. We don't even let stuff get to the point where it needs to get repaired. Because when you are doing the maintenance, it makes all the difference. And you putting that kind of love and care into your place. You ain't calling some maintenance dude. It's like, yeah, I can get there. I can get there in 2 weeks. Like, the roof is leaking now. Like now. So, but yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Experiment. Experiment with your own roofing ideas. Your own ways to put up walls. Ain't none of this edged in stone. I mean, humans been building structures since the beginning of time, for the most part, since humans been on the planet. So there is no cut, set, and dry way to do all of this. If you got an idea, I would say try it. Just because you ain't seen nobody else do it, that don't mean nothing. That means absolutely nothing. That don't mean anything. I would say come up with your some ideas and implement them bad boys. So let's see what's going on here. This is just a slow time of year for sports. Unless you're a big baseball fan. I mean, I like baseball, but I like it more playoff time. They're talking about LeBron going to the Mavs. Why don't that nigga retire? Why do these guys keep playing? I don't get it. You got all the money in the world, all the fame in the world. Why you're not gonna win a championship again? Even if you do win a championship, LeBron, you're never gonna be Jordan G. Never. LeBron can win 2-3 more titles, and he's never gonna be J. Never. I mean, I like LeBron. He's a great talent. He's definitely in my top 5. You ain't even close. I mean, the bad part about it, he ain't even close to Jordan. People be arguing about LeBron and Jordan. I'm like, man, yeah, I mean, to me, he ain't even better than Kobe. So y'all make sure y'all check out all of our other content. Check out the links in the profile page. Check out the website. Check out the Spotify page. We deep in the Hawaiian jungle on Spotify. Check out some of the eBay links. If you're into NFTs, we got them cracking too. So, oh yeah. I'm sorry, man, but that cat will never be Jay. Judge shaken up after being hit by ball thrown by teammate Volpe. What the hell? How the hell your own teammate gonna hit you? I'm not gonna even try to play that because it ain't gonna be able to mess up. But I'm about 50 minutes in. I'm gonna try to go an hour here. See what's crackulating. But yeah. If you ever got questions about this lifestyle, leave me a comment. You know, I think I'm pretty good about replying to the comments on the videos. But yeah, start building and try to recycle as much material as you can. Pallets, use tin cans, use plastic. I mean, I'm talking about like sturdy plastic. You know, I'm talking about, you know, that kind of plastic. You'd be surprised how all that stuff is gonna come in handy, because you gotta treat it. I mean, if you're serious about saving money, if you're serious about getting out of your job, because I mean, I don't know about your career situation, but the first time, you know, you quit that job and that paycheck don't come through, it's gonna hit you. Like, oh, nigga, this is real. Yeah, it's gonna hit you. So you want to start saving everything, learn how to recycle things. Like I say, watch a lot of YouTube videos. But Also be thinking about your own techniques, because there's a lot of stuff out there that a lot of people just haven't thought of, or they may be in a different financial situation than you, and they can just, I'll just buy that. No. And a big one, a real big one. I don't know, look at my video on the off-grid guava tree shower. Off-grid guava tree shower. That's a big one, because if you're getting off that propane and you're using firewood to heat your water and cook, you got to figure out a way to heat up a hot shower without going completely dead broke. So I highly, strongly advise you to watch my video on the off-grid outdoor guava tree shower. That was probably the toughest thing. The more I keep thinking about it, the hardest thing for us was trying to figure out how can we get a hot shower in without going completely broke using propane to heat that water. That's going to be... So once we got that process down, it was like, oh man, okay. Then we rolling here. So let me just take a quick peek at the stock market here. What this thing gonna look like going into Monday. Yeah, it's starting to rain. I might lose y'all here. I might lose you. Catch ya and I'll wet ya. I got the maya baba heya. Talking about OPEC. OPEC members agreed that to larger than expected oil production hike in August. Like I always said, you better watch oil. The press got it under control now, but you do not want oil to start to tick up. So, trade deadlines and oil drama set the stage for a crunch week in global markets. Let's see what oil is doing on this chart. Let's see what we got crackling. But yup, it's been. I mean, when we was in Waikiki, our utilities was included in the rent, so I won't count that. But I ain't seen a utility bill in over 5 years. Can you say that? Yeah, I ain't seen no utility bill in over 5 years. Everything moving slow. Everything's moving slow. Well, it's 66. Keep it below 70 and you're all right. Over 33. Pretty much, like I said, same numbers I read off yesterday. Tenure is at 4.3. We got the 10-year at 4.3. So we see what the press do. We see what the futures market will look like tomorrow night, and we'll see what the trade looks like going into Monday morning. But I think I'm gonna shut this stream down because it's starting to rain on me here. Starting to rain, well, not literally rain on me, but it's starting to rain out there, and I get worried that I'm gonna lose y'all. Yeah. So, but if you can come out here or get off grid and start making it work, man, that's why I just be looking at some of these young people, and I feel bad for them. I really do. because a lot of these people I think would do really well out here, but nobody ever told them how to come out here. Nobody ever encouraged them to come and do this. All they do is encourage these young people to go to school, get some degree that you can't even get a job for, try to get a job, get frustrated, get lectured to about how you're not working hard enough, you're not trying hard enough. Man, I'm telling you, you ain't even gotta live like that. You ain't gotta do all that. Come live out here in this jungle. You will find yourself. So y'all, let me get off this thing because I think the stream is starting to trip a little bit. I'm not sure. I just know when it starts to rain, it don't act right. So y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that sub button. Y'all hit that follow button. And hit that notification button. We're coming back at you. Aloha.